review. My guest HeistAlmighty are going to check here a beer that was sent to us from Ontario by Albino Rhino. Albino Rhino's beer review. Going to take a look at Muskoka Brewery's Mad Tom IPA. Inspired by the late night stories around the fire, Muskoka Mad Tom will instantly grab your attention. Dry hopped with Chinook and Centennial hops, this IPA has a vibrant aroma, depth of flavor, and crisp citrusy undertow like no other. So brace yourself and crack one open for old Mad Tom. Gary McMullen, founder. Venture off the beaten path. So this is an IPA, obviously. Comes in at 6.4% ABV. And there's a picture at the top of the beer that I've seen every time I've seen a review of this. They point out it's a guy clutching his barrel of beer who's just fallen out of his boat. I wonder if that's Mad Tom.
I don't know. From the campfire story thing, I assume that Mad Tom is probably some sort of boogeyman or something.
Some kind of legend.
Dealing with a boogeyman or possibly boogeymen. Leading up to Halloween, it's very scary.
Anyway, let's take a look at this. Actually quite nice looking. Good plug to get all that sediment.
Oh! Oh! It's full of floaties. I got some decent head.
Sorry, dude. Yeah, you got some decent head because you just bumped it right into the glass. I get about a half finger only because I was gentle.
Well, take it easy with the fingers, eh?
Oh, dude. Right, moving right along after uncomfortable. It looks like an IPA. It's mainly yellow, but there's some slight orange hues right in the center.
Yours is a lot clearer than mine. Like a lot.
Look at this. Look at this.
Like this is total banana there.
Total again with the fingers. Anyway, alright, so we've got a beer. It looks like your standard beer. It's a little light for an IPA from what I see here. Nice. The head's mainly white, maybe slightly yellow, cream yellow, but it's mainly a bright white head.
I'm not going to slosh mine around. Hope that it will settle a bit.
Well, you want to take a bit, let that settle?
Well, you talk, and then maybe we'll... I'm just not going to move mine around a lot.
Alright, well, I'm going to take a sniff of this. Wow, that's citrusy.
Yeah, it's really citrusy. A little bit of floral, too.
Yes, it is. Slightly floral, but mainly a citrusy, perhaps a little spruce in there as well. And I'm also picking up some sweet caramel malt. A little bit of a brown sugar sweetness down at the very back of that.
Yeah, a little bit of sweetness.
But it's predominantly buried underneath this nice citrusy grapefruit smell.
It's a light citrus too. Like, you know, sometimes grapefruit can be really bitter and just punch to the old grapefruit.
Yeah, it's more like light, very light grapefruit instead of that thicker like ruby red or something.
Yeah, this is more of a pink, but not too sweet. Like it's just a light and
like yellow grapefruit, like the one that's more bitter than it is like citrusy. Regardless, it really smells quite nice.
Yeah, it's a lovely smell.
Wow, that's a really nice smell.
Really not settling out at all.
Down the hatch.
Down the hatch.
Want to give it a drink?
That's our motto here, down the hatch.
Alright, let's give it a taste. Whoa, that's a lot of hop.
Yup.
That's nice though.
It's really grapefruity.
It's like grapefruit Kool-Aid taste almost.
Does Kool-Aid make a grapefruit flavor?
Probably not. But it's got this like light, sugary kind of taste to it in the caramel. And a light-bodied IPA. That's very light for an IPA.
Lots of good lacing,
but a nice intense, like you can tell it was dry hopped where they've added hops to the boil after the. But well, anyway.
Yeah,
the main phase.
Definitely dry hopped.
Yeah, like you actually taste that. You taste a lot more hop taste than you get out of the bitterness on this one. And that's actually quite nice. I'll agree with that too.
You want some too?
You want some IPA? Oh, catch the wild cat.
You want some IPA too?
Oh, now you're just being cruel.
You want some IPA? No? Do you want to smell it? The cat's not recoiling in horror, so it can't be that hard of a smell.
Somehow it wants to get away from you now. Thanks, Horatio. So, before we get PETA mad at us, I gotta say that's a very light tasting IPA. But it's a much more intense hop taste than it is a hop bitterness.
Yeah, that is a real punch.
But it's nice and it's got that citrus taste, but there's a lot of pine in there as well. like sprucey.
It's really sitting on the back of my tongue pretty hard.
But I like it. It's not as sweet as I was expecting from the smell.
This is a really different take on the style. It's not East Coast, it's not West Coast.
Well, it's probably leaning more towards the West Coast because it's really got this hop taste. But it's not incredibly bitter either. Where like an East Coast is more not as bitter as your typical West Coast because we're more focused on the flavor of the beer. Irregardless, that's really nice. That's not a bad tasting IPA at all.
So we're gonna sit with this one, or is it gonna be one take?
I think we'll sit down with this one for a brief second. We'll be right back. And we're back with Muskoka Mad Tom IPA. So what do we think of this one? I actually really like that. It's lighter than you would expect for your standard IPA, but it's also fairly good tasting.
Yeah, I'm a little divided on this one. Possibly an East Coast West Coast thing, but it's not my favorite IPA, but it's still a good IPA.
Yeah, it's not as intensely bitter as you would expect from some IPAs, but yeah, it certainly fits the style.
It is intensely hoppy without.
Yeah, it's got more of a hop taste because of the dry hopping process than it does of bitterness. But that said, actually, really, I don't mind that one. It's got a nice citrusy, sprucey taste to it as far as the hop goes.
It might be a little more floral than is right to my taste, but it's still a quality IPA. Although it might be just because I ended up with all the floaties.
It's because you got the bottom of the bottle. There was like crap floating in right up the top, like 1 centimeter off.
Oh,
I looked at it and I'm like, ew.
There's still some. Oh, okay. Now you
there we go.
Inject some
just
floaties in yours.
Looks like dark splooge.
Oh.
All right.
So, what did you think?
What would you give it?
I'm gonna have to go. Oh, that's a tough call. I'm gonna say 3 3/4.
3 3/4?
Yeah.
I was thinking high 3.5. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had better IPAs, and there's better IPAs out there for sure. But I mean, it's a solid effort for an Ontario craft brew. Yeah. And I would definitely recommend it if you get a chance to try Mad Tom IPA. It's actually pretty darn good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting take on the style.
I'd probably want a Propeller IPA over this.
Yeah. There's a lot of IPAs I would, if I had all the IPAs in the world, this wouldn't be one of the first ones I would go to, but I wouldn't turn it down if it was the only one available.
Probably go to a Garrison or a Tidal Wave or something.
Or
even a Dogfish Head.
I think this is just a little bit more sweet than I really want in my IPA. But that being said, it's still a very good IPA.
That's true. What do you think, Horatio? Are you going to give it a 3.5?
Horatio's fussy. He's
doesn't like IPAs. Anyway, so high 3.5 for both of us, pretty much. And thanks for watching Maxwell Starr's beer review. Talk to you later. Cheers.